Hello YouTubers. Okay, today I have got another scrap out, tear down, depopulate video for you, since people seem to like those. So, I'm doing this anyway, I might as well film it for your entertainment. Today I've got an Enterasys 72 port gigabit switch and distributed forwarding engine. I have no idea what a distributed forwarding engine does, but apparently this is one of them. So yeah, here's the model number, and DFE for distributed forwarding engine over here. So yeah, I've been really happy with the Enterasys stuff I've gotten lately. It's had a lot of good stuff in it to harvest, and hopefully this is the same. Now actually I tore down one of their 72 port switches a while back. I did not make a video of it, unfortunately. I wasn't making teardown videos yet, and there was some good stuff in it, and this one doesn't look too dissimilar from that. There are some differences, so we'll see what's different once we get under the hood. But okay, I mean, right off the bat, we got 72 ports with nice, lovely gold pins in them. So, okay, so we got 72 ports full of gold on the front of this thing. So that's a beautiful thing right off the bat. Let's spin it around and see what we got on the back. Okay, we've got a huge connector here on the back that's going to be just full of gold pins. Probably hundreds of them. We got 3 heavy-duty power connectors that are full of, let me see if I can get that to focus a little better, heavy-duty gold-plated pins for transmitting power. There's some connectors with gold-plated pins. There's some gold-plated pins sticking up. Oh, yeah, over here, looks like we got, oh yeah, gold-plated pins, to the daughter board up there. Oh, and there's some more connectors in the back. Looks like we got a RAM stick or 2 in there. Yeah. Okay, cool. And at least 2 boards. Maybe. No, I guess that was not double-sided. I was hoping double-sided boards. I love it when I get double-sided boards, because it's like, a BOGO. 2 for 1. Doesn't look like I really have double-sided boards this time, but we'll see once I get them out. So anyway, this unit is apparently defunct, non-functional, and the guy I got it from, I guess I'll believe him on that, because if it worked, I'm sure he could get it for a lot of money versus what he gave it to me for. I don't really have a way of testing it. It does not even have, a plug-in power connector. It has to be plugged into a rack system, a rack chassis that's going to provide it with power and connectivity, and I don't have one of those, so I can't test it. I'll just take his word for it that it is borked. So I will go ahead and scrap it out, and we'll see what we got inside that's worth some money. I mean, already I can see a fair amount of gold just looking at it without even taking it apart. Alright, so I'm going to put the camera on the tripod and get busy taking it apart. Alright, so here we go. I shall try not to kick the camera tripod too many times while I'm doing this. I don't want to give you vertigo. You take this top cover off first. The last 72 port switch of Enterasys I took apart did not have this top cover, so already there's something different. I guess this is a gigabit, and it was the last one I think was a 10100. So this is newer. Okay, a couple here. Come off now? Yeah, alright. Oh yeah, it's a little bit different than the last one I took apart. It's got more stuff here on it. Gotta pause the video for a second. I'm getting a delivery. It's probably more good stuff I'm going to be able to take apart on video later. Alright, I'm back. So this sheet steel off the top, very heavy gauge sheet steel. That is substantial stuff there. About the perfect size for various projects too. I'll probably hold on to this piece. This could probably come in handy for various projects here around the farm. And then I think I was saying this looks a little different from the last Enterasys 72-port switch I took apart. Yeah, it does look quite a bit different. But it's got a lot of good stuff in there. I already see a gold corner BGA. Here's another one back here. And we got lots of heat sinks, and I'll bet at least some of them have gold corner BGAs under them. I think the last one I took apart also had some custom ceramic ICs. That one there might have one of those under it. And I couldn't really do anything with those custom ceramic ones. I crushed them up, and I didn't really see any gold in them. There may have been a little bit, but I didn't really see any. But there's other things like this IBM chip over here. It's kind of a weird little chip. I saw something like that in the last one, and it had some gold in it. So that's good. Oh, here's another little gold corner BGA. And another one. Love the gold corner BGAs. All right, let me open it up a little more. And these standoffs, I love standoffs too. I mean, you can never have enough hardware around the farm because there's always something that needs to be fixed, repaired, or built, you know. So things like these standoffs, they come in real handy when you're trying to rig up something in a hurry to fix something, or you're trying to build some machine. Things like this come in just so handy. Yeah, so I love standoffs. Let me take this this top board off of here, and we'll see what's underneath it. I'm going to keep these screws too because they'll mate with the standoffs. Oh yeah, and some of the standoffs are nylon too, so that's good because they're non-conducting, and sometimes you need a non-conducting standoff for a particular job. Let's see, is that all the screws? I think so. It's got a great big connector down there with a couple hundred pins in it holding it together. 2 connectors. There we go. Yeah, 2 connectors. Okay, here's one of those custom ceramic chips right here. Ooh, with lots of silicone grease on it. So I wasn't able to really see any gold in that. I don't know. Maybe if I had totally pulverized it and run it through my gold recovery process, maybe I'd have got something. But I didn't see any visible gold in it. But there's a lot of pins here. And these are actually pretty easy to recover because they're not soldered in. They are press fit in the board. So these can be pulled out with pliers, and I'll do that later. And look, we got 2 more gold corner BGAs on this daughter board here. Got a bunch of other flat pack chips. It's a little strange. There are no magnetics on this board that I can see. I hope these chips aren't little tiny magnetics. I think they're too small to have torrid transformers in them, but you never know the way they miniaturize stuff these days. Maybe. Or maybe they're just they're BGAs of some sort. Hopefully they have gold in them. And we got lots of flat packs, lots of transistors, it looks like. Transistors have gold bond wires in them too. Got a little oscillator here, 2 little oscillators, and they're both gold plated. Actually 4. Now the more I look, the more I see there's 4 oscillators that are gold plated here. That is gorgeous. I love the gold plated ones. And I don't know if it's showing up, but there's something up here. I don't know what these are. F1 and F2. They're fuses, and they're gold plated too. I'm going to have to harvest those. Now here's another oscillator with gold plating. So we got 5 oscillators with gold plating, 2 fuses that are gold plated, whole bunch of gold pins, 2 gold corner BGAs, and a bunch of other ICs. So this is a nice board all in itself. Maybe we even got to the main board yet. Nice. wipe the grease off. Okay, so look at the main board. We got, let me take the camera off the tripod and show you some of the stuff close up. Got some really, really tall gold-plated pins here. I mean, those are like 3 inches tall. That connected, I guess, into here on the daughter board. So, wow. All right, those are nice. I remember those from the other 72-pin port switch I took apart too. And then we got the mating pins or sockets in here for all those pins, and these are all gold-plated too, and they're all press fit into the board as well, so they'll come out. These power connectors are press fit in, they'll come out real easy, and all this stuff is just press fit in. It comes out real easy, which is nice, because I like to depopulate the stuff with gold on it before I depopulate the board in the kiln. That's how I do it. I do it in the kiln, if you've seen my other videos, because sometimes solder will run across the gold parts if you don't take them off first. So it's nice that the stuff is press fit. And then we got, what does that say? Disc on chip. Disc on chip. Huh. So I guess this is like a little flash disc or something here. It looks like a RAM stick, but I guess it's a flash disc. And then we got a RAM stick behind it. I can't read it. I'll have to pull them out. Let me put the camera back up on the tripod. Okay. All right. Well, it's a nice. Got some gold fingers on it anyway, even if it's only got one chip on it. And what do we got here? 128 megabytes, so that's pretty old. Only one-sided too, but you know, got some gold fingers, got some RAM chips. RAM chips have gold bond wires in them, so love RAM chips. Let's see what else we got here. You know, they talked about the tall gold pins. This thing has these vertical, I think these are power boards. They have big capacitors, big inductors on them, transistors. So these are probably power boards. Got some more inductors down here and lots of capacitors over here. So the 72-pin switch I took apart before only had 2 of these vertical power boards on it. This one has 4, so that's a difference. And the 72-pin switch or port switch I took apart before had a lot of heat sinks. This one only has a few. So that's another difference. But you can see you've got another big gold corner BGA that was underneath the daughter board there. Let's see what's underneath these heat sinks. Okay, there's another one of those custom ceramic chips. Okay. That, I'll have to scrape off the silicone heat grease to see what that is. Same there. Boy, I'll tell you what, my heat sink bin is getting really full. I'm gonna have to take it to the scrapyard pretty soon. It's just full of the heat sinks. There's, you know, they pay you cast aluminum for those. Okay, so we got 2 more of the custom white ceramic chips here. Boy, they didn't spare the grease on these, let me tell you. And then we got these 2. I've seen something like that before. Let me get the grease off of these and get a close-up look at them. Yeah, I've seen something like these before. Even though they look like aluminum on top, they're actually copper. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of like gold bond wires in them, but the die seems to be brazed on with some sort of gold inlay. So there is some gold in these. It's these white ceramic ones that I really couldn't find any trace of gold in when I smashed them up and looked at the pieces. But maybe there's some gold in there hiding. Oh, look at this. Here's another big gold-plated oscillator. It's like all the oscillators on this thing are gold plated. That's great. I love the gold plated stuff because I can get the plating off. So, yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold corner BGAs. Got these two things that have some gold in them. We got a lot of other BGAs across the front here that I hope have some gold in them. It's weird. This doesn't have any magnetics on it either. So I hope these are actually ICs and not transformers. I've never seen them in this transformers in this form factor before, but anything's possible. I might have to break one open and see what it looks like inside. And we got a lot of other chips here, flat packs, whatnot. So, yeah, not too bad. Let me get these other heat sinks off and see what's underneath them. It's more of these Broadcom flat pack type, or BGA type chips. Okay, so there's some more heat sinks for the heat sink bin. Alright, so, see if I can get this board out of here. What's holding it in? All these standoffs are holding it in. Here's some more nylon standoffs. There's probably some screws too, but they tend to blend into the board. Looking, but I don't see any. Yeah, quite the haul of standoffs here. Several different sizes, steel and nylon. Okay. Well, there's a standoff I missed right there. And then, yeah, there's a couple more screws over here. Okay. Oh, and there's another standoff. They just blend in. I'm blind to them. Okay. That's steel. So what is holding this plate on? Another standoff. Which again, I just became blind to. I missed it. There we go. Okay, another steel plate. Alright, so here's the board. So like I said, I like to depopulate the as much of the gold bearing stuff as I can that's press fit. And some of this stuff comes out pretty easy. Get my wrench here to cooperate with me. There we go. That was easy. That's coming out a lot easier than the last ones. There's the gold pins right there. A bunch of them. There's hundreds of them here. Now they all stayed in this part here for the first one I took off, but they stayed on the board with the second one I took off, but that's okay. I'll get them all out one way or another. You can run, but you can't hide. There we go. This fell apart. It's a Dallas Semiconductor something power cap, and it's got a little watch battery in it. So I'll bet this was a a time and date backup. Power cap with crystal, Philippines. It's got gold-plated pins in it and gold-plated pads on there. So that's nice. Keep finding more gold here. All right. Some of the pins are coming out of the board and some are staying in it. But I will get them all one way or another. There we go. There's all those. And you see they'll fall apart like this. And it makes it really easy to get the gold plating off the ends. I'll take these all apart before I try to take the plating off. And then, let's see here. I need to get this stuff off. And it's a similar process. Oops, sorry. Let me take the power ones off first. Make sure I'm actually on camera for that. And they come off fairly easily because, like I say, they are press fit in there. Well, 2 out of the 3 came out. 1 stayed behind. There we go. Get these other 2 off. There we go. That's the gold pins out of there. I'm not sure why they press fit these in instead of soldering them, but I will say it makes it pretty easy to get them out. I mean, they come out pretty darn easy. A little elbow grease, a little sweat equity in the 90-degree heat out here. And there they are. And you know, if you don't believe me that there's hundreds of little pins here, here they are. That gold plating showing up on the video. So there's bunches of them. So I'll have to disassemble this and get all those out. Ooh, they're sharp. Should be wearing gloves. Ow. Yeah. Get all those out and expose them. So when they go in the leach to get the plating taken off, it'll all come off nice. Okay, so what else have we got here? Let's see, that doesn't have any gold on it. Pretty much, this board is pretty much ready for depopulating in the kiln. Let's see, is that press fit? No, that's soldered in. So let's see, those pins are soldered in. They're through hole soldered. What I might do is just rip off this great big gold-plated oscillator here. Yeah, nice. Oh, look at that, it's even got gold-plated legs on it. I love it. All right. And this thing here, yeah, oh, it's got a little chip on the back of it too. All right, so that's got some visible gold on it. And let's see, these pins here, they're through hole soldered in, so it's going to have to be depopulated. Let's see about this board here. This board here, we got the same thing. We got the pins over here that went into the sockets I just removed. And of course, they're press fit too. Now these, I recall, with the last switch I took apart, were a little more difficult. Yeah. They tend to stay in the board. But, so you got a couple hundred little pins like this with the gold plating on the end. But they're easy enough to get out since they're press fit in. Some of them stay in the plastic part here. But pull them out. Add them to the pile over here of gold-plated stuff. And these, let me pause the video for a minute and go get another tool. The pins that stay in the board, you just use some needle nose pliers and rip them out. Like so. They're going to go everywhere. I try not to get them on the ground because they're hard to find. I need to be working indoors where I can sweep the floor. I'll get all these pins out of here. There are hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds. You know, it all adds up. Each one has just a tiny amount of gold on it, but you know, it adds up. I'll put all these pins in one jar and show you at the end what came off just this board. There are a lot of them here. Yeah. And then while I'm here, I'm going to harvest these gold-plated oscillators. Throw them in the gold-plated pile. And these gold-plated fuses, oh, that one broke. Rats. Now it's two gold-plated fuses connected by a thin wire. See if I can get this one out without busting it. You ever seen gold-plated fuses before? There. Get that one out whole. And let's see, where are the rest of the oscillators? There's an oscillator. There's an oscillator. Never seen so many gold-plated oscillators on one board. Alright, and then there's one there that I smeared heat transfer grease on. Almost missed it. That one's... There we go. Alright, I think I got them all. Yep, let me go back to working on these pins. Boy, there are a lot of pins here. Quite a pile of them over there. These are kind of close together. That doesn't make it easy. Okay, get these pins out of here. And that's pretty much it for what I'm going to take off the board before putting it in the kiln and letting the heat depopulate the rest of it. Surface mount boards are super easy to depopulate in a kiln because once the kiln reaches the temperature that the solder melts, everything just kind of falls off the board. So there's a few things that are through hole on this that I might have to rip off with pliers once it gets warm. There's some gold pins, connectors on the other side. Let's see. And these, I don't know, these are a little strange. These Ethernet ports, are they surface mount? I don't know. They're through hole. They're not very far through the board. I guess they are through hole, but they hardly stick up off the board at all. Okay. So these, if they don't fall off, I'll just have to, you know, reach in with a gloved hand or with the pliers once it gets hot and just rip them off. same with these. Yeah, these are weird. I don't really see how those are held on there unless they are surface mount. Got some kind of padding stuff here. I'll take it off so it doesn't melt in the kiln. Oh, there's a few chips on the back of this board. Not many, but a few. Got some really big tantalum capacitors back here too. I have started saving those for the people who are into tantalum capacitors and say I should be saving them. I don't do anything with them, but I'll put them in a mason jar, and when the mason jar is full, I'll sell it on eBay to somebody for a few bucks. How's that? Lots of MLCCs too, fairly big ones. Again, I'm not an MLCC kind of guy, but you know, these big ones here, I don't know if they're magnetic or not. Probably. Maybe I'll save those for somebody too. You know, sell them on eBay. But I think the board is ready to go in the kiln. Both boards are ready to go in the kiln and get depopulated. And we'll see what we get. Boy, I managed to get this grease everywhere. That's what happens. You get it on your hands, you go touching stuff, it transfers everywhere. So I'll put these two boards in the kiln and start the cycle and see if we can get everything to fall off. I'll show you that. Then I need to clean up this mess of gold pins before they go on the ground. Oh yeah, alrighty, here we are on the back deck behind my workshop where the kilns are. Somebody asked me on my last video what the kilns are that I use. Well, this is a Scut. The brand name is Scut. And it's a 16-inch inside diameter kiln, octagonal. You can see it's octagonal up there. And then this is a Paragon. That's a 20-inch octagonal kiln. And this is the one I use exclusively for glass work. You got to be scrupulously clean with glass work. So I don't use this kiln for anything but glass. And as you can see, this kiln, well, it's a little less than clean. And it's a little less than cleaner than usual. Because yesterday I depopulated a whole bunch of boards in it, and I made a rookie mistake. The thermocouple probe was hanging out like this, so the temperature controller didn't sense that the inside was getting hot, so it kept feeding power to the kiln and power to the kiln. I went inside and had lunch, came out and smelled stuff burning, and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? So I came out here and the boards were horribly charred. The kiln had overheated. I still managed to collect most of the components off of the boards. You know, the ICs and stuff fell into the catch basin in the bottom. And, you know, hey, most of them are going to get incinerated anyway, so it was okay. Some of them were embedded in blobs of melted plastic and stuff, though. That was kind of a pain. But on the whole, not too much of a disaster, but I should have left one of the charred boards out here as a reminder to make sure that the temperature probe is inserted properly before I start the kiln up. So anyway, like I said, I was depopulating a bunch of boards yesterday. I normally do them in batches, but just to show you what's on this particular unit, I will depopulate these two boards all by themselves, and we'll see just what falls off of them. Don't really want the boards to get too close to the heating elements. That's why we got this wire basket in here, but it's not doing its job very well today. There we go. Okay. Let's see if I can get this board a little further away from the heating elements. Okay. Well, that'll have to do. We'll see. So the temperature probe is inserted. So hopefully the kiln will not overheat, and we'll just get up to about 400 F over the next hour. I will try to check it before then. There's some things that I want to take off. Once the solder melts, I'll be able to hopefully just pull this out. These long gold-plated pins. They're not all gold-plated. That's kind of weird. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Not along their whole length anyway. And let's see what else. Oh, there's some gold connectors down at the other end of the board down there that I'll pull out because they're through hole soldered. But all this surface mount stuff should just fall right off into the catch basin. I'll reach in with a gloved hand and just shake the boards once they're hot, and all of these surface mount parts should just fall right off down into the catch basin. So let me close the door. Let's get the controller up and running. Got the pre-programmed process in here somewhere. There it is. And we're off and running. Ooh, it's hot out here. It's already at 101 degrees when I started. It hasn't run since yesterday. It is hot. I'm a sweaty mess. I'm going to go in the house and have some lunch. And hopefully when I come out, I won't smell something burning. And we'll come out and we'll see what we got. Okay, just got done with my lunch. It's been not quite an hour, and the kiln is up to just below 400 degrees. Yeah. Little curls of smoke coming out of it. Let's see what we got going on inside. Alright. There goes a lot of stuff off the board. Yeah, perfect. Love it. Just give them a shake. The parts fall off. Let's see if I can get this off. Yep, look at that. Perfect. Drop it down there. Alright. Boy, a lot of stuff came off. Flip the board over. Flip this board over. Put it back in for a bit. See if I can get some more stuff to come off. There's a few things that are still stuck on there. Sorry, I'm in the way here. Stand up. Stand up straight. Temperature of the kiln's a little stratified. It's cooler at the bottom than at the top. So stuff that was on the bottom of the boards is more stuck than stuff that was at the top and fell off. But look at all the stuff that fell off down there. All right, let me let them run a little while longer, and we'll see what else I can get off the boards. Alrighty, it's been a little while longer. Let me get my gloves on here. I've got the camera mounted on the tripod this time. Let me see if I hope you can get a better view of what's going on in here. I'm going to try and pull some stuff off the boards. They've had a chance to heat up again. Ah, there they go. Yep. Alright, so got all those out with all their gold fingers. And all the chips coming off the board. Big transistors, IC chips. Alright. Oh, there's the socket for the RAM. More IC chips coming off. I think there was a little oscillator there I missed earlier. Let's see if I can get gold pins off. Alright. That's pretty much everything. A few transistors there. That's pretty much everything. There's a chip. Alright. Knock all those MLCCs off. I'll collect them and maybe sell them on eBay. Like I said, they're not my cup of tea, but maybe some other people will be interested in them. Alright. So that's one pretty depopulated board right there. Let's see about this other board. More gold pins here. Oh, they just fell right off. Lots of transistors. There's some chips, flat packs coming off. More transistors. Ooh, it's hot. Even through these thick Kevlar gloves, that is hot. Alright. And that is another depopulated board. A few more MLCCs. Alright. I'll give you a look at what's in the bottom of the kiln here, which I can turn off the kiln here in a second. There's all the stuff. Let me turn the kiln off. And stuff's got to cool down, then I'll sort it out, and then I'll show you what we got. Okay, everything has cooled down, at least enough that I can touch it. So let's take an inventory of what I got. I got 2 pretty much depopulated boards here. There's a tantalum capacitor that was stuck on it. 2 pretty much depopulated boards. That can go in my depopulated board pile. I got a couple of sheets of steel here. That one there might come in useful for something. This one with all the nut certs in it, I don't know. I might just throw it in recycling. And that stuff back there, that's steel too. I'll probably throw that in the recycling. Can't really use it for anything. I got all these aluminum heat sinks, which can go into my heat sink bin, which is getting quite full. So I'll have to take that to the scrapyard soon. Now, this mason jar here just has all the gold fingers and pins and connectors and stuff that I took off the board before it went in the kiln. So that's just the stuff that came off before it went in the kiln. Plus these came off before it went in the kiln. Now this pile of gold here is all the stuff that came off the board while it was in the kiln. And there's those long gold-plated fingers there. It's funny, they didn't look fully gold-plated in the kiln. It must have been a trick of the light. They are fully gold-plated. This is the ram stick socket. There's gold plating in there. This connector here, which mated with these, has gold plating in it. I can see that. This was for the little ram stick, and it's got gold plating down in there too. And then got miscellaneous pins and connectors here. And then this is a dip switch, which has gold plated legs. So that's nice. And I don't know how I missed them, but here's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more gold-plated oscillators that fell off the board in the kiln. And I've harvested how many? Like 6 or 7 that are in here? I don't know how I missed those. I must be going blind in my old age. But 7 more gold-plated oscillators. I've never seen so many gold-plated oscillators on one device before. That's crazy. Here's all of the gold corner BGAs that came off the unit. I like these, full of gold. And then this is that funky IBM chip, and it's really, if you turn it over, it's really just a BGA as well. And it has a copper plate on the front, although it looks like aluminum, and the copper plate will peel off. And what you'll get is it's just like one of these underneath. I've got all of the network ports here with all their pins inside. So these can get stripped off in the gold leach. All the gold can come off those pins in the gold leach. The gold can come off this. The gold can come off this stuff. There's a lot of gold there. Here's those 3 ceramic IC, custom ceramic ICs. As far as I can tell, there's no gold in them. This one got cracked accidentally in the kiln, but you know, I can't see that there's any gold in there anywhere. I don't know, maybe I'll crunch one up better just to see. Oh, there's another gold corner BJ. The solder melted and it's stuck on the back of these 2 custom Enterasys chips. Now these have a little bit of gold in them. Maybe I can peel one apart here later and show you that there is a little bit of gold in there. Here's all these Broadcom BGAs. I don't know what's in these. I might have to crack open a couple of them just to see if they are worth processing. I hope they're not mini magnetics. Pretty heavy for their size. They might be magnetics. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, that one's really light. So I don't know what's in them. Hopefully they're ICs with gold bond wires. We'll see. And then speaking of ICs, here's all the other ICs, transistors, voltage regulators, LEDs that came off the board, all of the other semiconductors. Oops, that's one of the Broadcoms. That goes over here in this pile. So, and I think in my last video I showed you why I collect the LEDs, because sometimes they have gold bond wires in them just like the IC chips do. Here's those power boards. They fell off. Pretty much depopulated themselves, but not fully. That one didn't really. But there's not much on it, just some transistors and capacitors. cords, transformers. Same there. This one like fully depopulated itself. I would probably just throw these out. I don't think there's much on them worth keeping, really. So, oh, and I got all these standoffs and screws, a couple different sizes, some nylon, some steel. So these will come in handy in my junk box. So that's pretty much it. And it's not a bad little haul. There's a lot of gold pins and a lot of gold-plated stuff on that unit. I am just gobsmacked at how much gold plating there was in there. I mean, I got a whole mason jar full here, plus all this other stuff. So that is a lot of gold plating, plus all of the pins in here are gold plated, you know, and there's gold in here. There's a fair amount of gold on this thing, and there's gold in here, and hopefully there's gold in here. Let me put the camera up on the tripod, and we'll peel apart one of these, and we'll break up a couple of these and see what's in them. Oh, I forgot, before we get into tearing apart some of these chips to see what's inside them, here's what's left in the catch basin at the bottom of the kiln. There's a lot of junk over here. There's capacitors, there's non-gold plated connectors, there's little transformers, but there's a lot of tantalum capacitors. Like I said, I don't collect these, but you know what? I may start collecting them just to sell them to other people. Fill a mason jar up with them, put them on eBay, see what I can get for them. And there's also just, tons MLCCs down in there. Just tons of them came off this board. So, and they're pretty big ones too. They're not the little tiny, can barely see them ones like I normally get. There's some of those too, but there's a lot of big ones in here. So I may collect them too and start a mason jar of those. And then when it's full, put it up on eBay. So that's what's in there. Now, let's see about some of these IC chips. Alright, so these things, they have a big copper plate on top. Although it looks silvery or like aluminum, it's actually copper. And it's got a copper back. And it's got this BGA array on the back. It's a weird thing. It's some sort of custom thing made by Enterasys. But you can peel it apart. And you got this big piece of copper here. Even though, again, it may be silver plated. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's silver plating on there. Because it's definitely copper. Because I can see around the edge where it's copper. But it may be silver plated. And then here's the die. And if I take the die off, yeah, it's hard to see because this one's got some kind of glue on it or something. But the back of the die is gold coated. So it's used some sort of like gold solder or gold inlay or something on there. So there's a little bit of gold inside these things here. These, I haven't found any gold in them. Let me look at the one that's broken here. Let me look at it with a loop and see. I'm not seeing anything that looks like gold in there where it's broken. I'm not seeing any bond wires. I'm not seeing anything. And I looked at some of these on the last piece of equipment I tore down that had some in it. I didn't find any gold in them either. Let's see about these Broadcom chips here. These are, I'm wondering about, because I got a whole bunch of them. You see. Break one in half. Oh, I see gold already. Good. Yeah, okay. It's like your typical gold corner BGA chip, only minus the gold corner. Alright, so cool. So the top black part probably has a lot of gold bond wires in it, just like a regular gold corner BGA chip. And then we got this back part here, the fiber part. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. I can deal with these, and I can see they've got gold in them, just to the naked eye. Then there's this funky IBM chip, and it's really just another type of VGA chip. You can see where the big epoxy blob is. That's where all of the bond wires are going to be. And you can just peel off the heat sink on top here. In theory you can. This one's, there we go. There we go. Oh, okay. The dye stayed with it. But there's probably a lot of gold bond wires in this center black part right here. So that over there with that. So that's pretty much it. I think it did pretty good. This is the biggest gold haul I've got out of a piece of equipment in a long time. I am really liking this. There's a lot of good stuff here. You know, a lot of stuff's going to go through the leach and get the gold plating taken off. A lot of ICs are going to get incinerated and get their gold bond wires out of them. And yeah, there's a lot of gold here. And plus a few other, you know, usable bits like the standoffs and the sheet metal over there. That could come in handy. So, okay, well, thanks for watching this teardown of the Enterasys 72-port gigabit switch and distributed forwarding engine. There's not much left of it now, but it's good stuff. It's a good thing. If you get one of those, you're in good shape. You might even be willing to pay a little bit for it, considering how much gold is in one of them. All right, please consider giving this video a like if you enjoyed this. Subscribe so you can see future videos where I tear things down or when I extract gold from this stuff. I got one coming up where I show how the leach works. I've been working on it. It's going to take a while before it's done. It's going to be a long video because there's a lot of moving parts with using the leach. But it's great for getting gold plating off without having to dissolve all of the base metal. I love it. So, like I said, subscribe, like, and I will see you next time. Keep it safe out there. Bye.